Ladies and gentlemen, it's 3 Canals PM on a Saturday. You check the score on your phone, you already know what it says, but you look anyway because self-harm is a habit now. 3-0, down, at home, to Brighton. You let out that sigh, that short, sharp exhale of pure, unfiltered exhaustion. It's not anger anymore. Anger left the building around the same time as the last competent defender. This is just acceptance. This is your life. You are a Manchester United fan, and your weekend is already over. This isn't supporting a football club, it's a long-term subscription to pain, a weekly psychological endurance test, where the only prize is arguing with a 14-year-old on Twitter who has Haaland in his username. Welcome to the post-mortem of a global institution. Welcome to the support group. Welcome to Why It Sucks to be a Manchester United fan. 1. The 20-ton shadow of Sir Alex. You know that feeling when your parents won't stop talking about your older sibling? The one who's a doctor, astronaut and part-time saint? Oh, Stephen cured cancer and runs marathons for fun. What did you do today, Greg? You ate cereal for dinner? Now, imagine that sibling is Sir Alex Ferguson. He didn't just cure cancer, he invented winning, and he's not just your brother, he's a 70,000-seat ghost that haunts your every waking moment. Let's just look at the raw numbers, shall we? In 26 years, Sir Alex, 13 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions Leagues, the 99 treble. He built and rebuilt 3, maybe 4 all-time great teams. He chewed gum with the ferocity of a starving lion. He scared referees into giving him Fergie time, which was basically a magical 10-minute portal where United was contractually obligated to score. Since he left in 2013, it's a comedy of errors. United have hired and fired 8 managers, including caretakers and interims. 8 in just over a decade. That's not a football club, it's a failed reality TV show called So You Think You Can Manage, where the only prize is a massive severance package and public humiliation. See, Fergie didn't just manage United, he was united. His personality was the club's entire operating system. He controlled the transfers, the youth setup, the press, and probably the meat pie recipe at the concession stand. When he left, he didn't just take his hairdryer, he took the entire hard drive. The club has been trying to run on an old Windows 95 startup disk ever since, desperately clicking cancel on the update available pop-up. Every new manager walks in, sees the gold-plated Sir Alex Ferguson stand sign, and immediately develops a nervous tic. They're not just trying to win a football match, they're trying to outmanage a bronze statue. And you can't. The statue always wins. You're perpetually stuck in 1999, desperately trying to feel that treble-winning high, while the rest of the world has moved on to spreadsheets and XG and managers who wear expensive knitwear. You're not supporting a club, you're the curator of a dusty museum muttering glory, glory to yourself as the paint peels off the walls and a single tear rolls down your face. 2. The graveyard of reputations. Congratulations, you're a world-class football manager. You've won the Eredivisie with a team of kids. You've won the Champions League. You've won the Portuguese League, breaking a 19-year drought. You have a philosophy that sounds incredible in a PowerPoint presentation. You've just been hired by Manchester United. The good news? You're rich. The bad news? Your career is about to be publicly stress-tested by a billion-dollar brand that's run with the tactical acumen of a startled pigeon. Old Trafford has become a managerial black hole. It's the football equivalent of that creepy house in a horror movie. Every manager thinks, I can fix it. The others were just weak. They walk in, full of ideas, and within 6 months they're found in the press room rocking back and forth, muttering about player attitudes and needing more backing. Let's just read the headstones, shall we? David Moyes, the chosen one, chosen to be sacked in 10 months. Louis van Gaal, the philosopher who was fired 2 days after winning the FA Cup. Jose Mourinho, the special one, who won 3 trophies and then descended into a paranoid spiral, complaining about the hotel furniture. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, at the wheel, driving everyone straight off a cliff, fueled only by vibes. Ralf Rangnick, the godfather of gegenpressing, who apparently forgot the pressing part. And then, the most recent corpse, Erik ten Hag, the bald genius from Ajax. He came in, won a cup, and for one brief shining moment, it looked like there was a plan. Then the 2024-25 season started, he lost a few games, and poof, sacked on October 28th. Another one for the pile, and now you have Ruben Amorim, the next guy. He's been in the job for almost exactly 1 year, and after a really tough 12 months, he just managed to win 3 games in a row and get nominated for Manager of the Month. Isn't that nice? This is the honeymoon period. A full year into the job. He's not the solution. He's just the next man in the spin cycle. You're not building a legacy. You're just paying the severance packages for a revolving door of broken, haunted men. 3. The parasites in the penthouse. You ever lend a friend $20, then you watch that same friend walk into the pub, slap your 20 on the bar, buy a round for everyone but you, and then, to top it all off, turn to you and ask if you can cover his tab, plus interest. Congratulations, you now understand the Glazer ownership model. For those who haven't been paying attention, here's a quick MBA in how to ruin a football club. In 2005, the Glazer family bought Manchester United. Did they use their own money? Oh, you sweet naive child. No, they used the club's money. It's called a leveraged buyout, which is a fancy finance term for forcing the thing you're buying to pay for itself. They saddled United with over $600 million in debt. The club went from being one of the richest debt-free institutions in the world to being a cash cow for a family that, by all accounts, thinks football is a weird-shaped egg you throw. Since then, they have taken hundreds of millions of pounds out of the club in dividends and management fees. They are the only owners in the Premier League who pay themselves a dividend. Let me repeat that. Your rivals are getting state-sponsored blank cheques. Your owners are taking your ticket money and using it to pay off the interest on the loan they used to buy you in the first place. And what have you gotten in return? Old Trafford. The theatre of dreams. It's now the theatre of leaky roofs and prawn sandwiches. While Spurs built a $1 billion spaceship and City built an entire suburb, your stadium is literally, visibly crumbling. Videos of the roof leaking aren't even funny anymore. They're a metaphor. The training ground, Carrington, was state-of-the-art in 2000. Now it's a relic. Ronaldo himself said nothing had changed since he left, and he wasn't complimenting the timeless decor. You're not a football club. You're an asset in a portfolio, a content provider, a brand. The Glazers don't need to win the league. They just need the official noodle partner of Southeast Asia to keep paying. Winning is expensive. Coasting on the brand Sir Alex built, that's just good business. So while you're screaming at your TV, they're approving a shareholder payout. You're not a fan. You're just an unsecured creditor in the world's most successful sporting heist. 4. The supermarket sweep transfer policy. You know that show Supermarket Sweep? Where contestants just panic and throw anything they can grab into a trolley? That's Manchester United's transfer policy. Except the contestants are all wearing suits, the trolley is on fire, and every item costs $80 million. There is no plan. There is only panic. The United tax is a real documented phenomenon. It's the extra 30-40% your club has to pay for a player, simply because everyone knows you're desperate. You don't scout players. You just wait to see who City wants and then try to hijack the deal. See, Alexis Sanchez, Fred. Or, even better, you just buy whoever your new manager vaguely remembers from the Eredivisie. Antony. $100 million for a man whose main skill is spinning in a circle. Lisandro Martinez. Great player, but you spent an entire summer haggling over a few million. It's either gross overpayment or baffling penny pinching. There is no in-between. And the assets? My God, the assets. You signed a 30-something Casemiro on a 5-year, $350k a week contract, which isn't a transfer, it's a retirement plan. You signed Wout Weghorst on loan to be your starting striker. And then there's the masterpiece, Jadon Sancho. You spent $100 million on him. He had a public spat with the last manager. The new manager, Amorim, didn't want him either. So you loaned him to Chelsea, who reportedly paid a penalty fee just to opt out of signing him. And now, he's on loan at Aston Villa, where he's achieved the ultimate humiliation of being substituted off after coming on as a substitute. You're not building a team, you're just compulsively hoarding the most expensive mismatched toys in the world. You're the most expensive, poorly assembled fantasy football team in history, and you've run out of storage space. 5. Your heroes are just content creators. You know that feeling when you have a big group project at work and you do 90% of the work, but that one guy, Steve, who spent the whole time on his phone, somehow gets in front of the CEO and takes all the credit. Now imagine your entire football team is made up of 11 different Steves. Welcome to the modern Manchester United dressing room, a place where the weekly wage bill is higher than the GDP of a small island nation, and the main output is not trophies, but apology tweets. These aren't footballers, they're highly paid influencers who just happen to be required to do a bit of light jogging for 90 minutes a week. Let's look at the roster. You've got players on $350,000 a week who can't control a simple pass but can drop a perfectly curated training ground vibes Instagram story within 10 minutes of a 4-0 loss. You've got Marcus Rashford, a man who can be a world beater one month and look like he's never seen a football before the next, all while his PR team ensures he's committed to his brand. You had the Paul Pogba experience, a 6-year, $100 million soap opera that was 10% football and 90% cryptic statements from his agent and new hairstyles. You made Harry Maguire the most expensive defender in history, and then, after 2 years of him being a human-sized kick me sign, you stripped him of the captaincy. It's not a team, it's a cast of mismatched protagonists in a show nobody wants to watch. The culture at United isn't about winning, it's about surviving. It's about protecting your bag. It's about making sure your individual stats look okay, even if the team is on fire. You watch them trudge off the pitch, shrugging at the fans, and then you see the automated, "We're disappointed, we go again." Fans were amazing post pop up on social media, probably scheduled before the match even started. There's no leadership, no one to grab the team by the scruff of the neck, just 11 individuals staring at the ground, waiting for someone else to do something. You're not cheering for players who would die for the badge. You're cheering for a collection of mercenaries who are just using the badge as a stepping stone to their next boot deal. You're not a fan base, you're just the engagement numbers on their latest sponsored post. 6. The digital civil war. So, the whistle blows. Another humiliating defeat. You're full of despair, rage, and cheap lager. You just want to share your misery, to find some solidarity with fellow fans who understand. So, you make a terrible mistake. You open Twitter, and you're immediately in hell, a special hell reserved just for you. Because being a United fan doesn't mean you're part of one big, happy, miserable family. It means you're now an unwilling soldier in a fractured, brutal, and frankly idiotic online civil war. The enemy isn't even City or Liverpool fans anymore. Oh no, the real enemy is Gary Ut78, who thinks Erik Ten Hag is a fraud and wants Big Sam Allardyce to come in and sort him out. But he's at war with Red Devil Dave 99, who thinks Ten Hag is a messiah being betrayed by the players. Meanwhile, both of them are being ratioed by a 15-year-old in Singapore, whose entire account is just statistical graphs proving that Diogo Dalot is actually the best right-back in the league. It is a non-stop 24/7 vortex of infighting. The Joel in versus Joel out schism wasn't a debate. It was a digital reckoning that probably ended friendships. The fan base is so traumatised by failure that it's fractured into 1,000 tiny cults. There's the give him time cult, the sack the board cult, fair enough, the it's all Rashford's fault cult, the it's all but Rashford's fault cult. The we need to sign a new director of football cult, whose members all sound like they've just finished a 3-week course in sports business management. And don't forget the fan media. You've got YouTubers screaming into a camera, turning redder than the home kit, generating more must-watch outrage content from a 1-1 draw with Burnley than a normal club gets from winning the league. You're not just watching a match, you're preparing for the post-match content war. You can't even be miserable in peace. Your misery has been monetized. You're not just supporting a team, you're picking a side in an endless, pointless argument with strangers, all while the club itself continues to set new records for mediocrity. 7. The blue moon rises and eclipses your entire life. Remember when you laughed at them? City. Oh, bless their tiny sky blue hearts. They were the punchline. The sad, perennially relegated, stadium-sharing little brother you'd occasionally buy a pint for out of sheer, unadulterated pity. You didn't even hate them. You couldn't. It would have been like hating a 3-legged koala. You just patted them on the head and said, "Not in my lifetime, lads." Well, the lifetime is here, and it's horrible. In 2008, the oil money arrived. Sir Alex famously called them the noisy neighbours. It was a classic, dismissive Fergie line. He thought they were just a kid who'd gotten a new drum set for Christmas. He didn't realise they were building a Death Star next door and had just hired Darth Vader as the project manager. Now, look at them. Just look at them. They are everything you used to be, but on steroids. They're ruthless, efficient, and clinically brilliant. They have Pep Guardiola, a bald tactical genius who has reinvented the sport 3 times. You have a manager who is just trying to survive until the next press conference. While you're on deadline day trying to sign a 34-year-old on loan from a Turkish club, City is signing the next Haaland, 2 years before anyone else has even heard of him. They don't just win, they suffocate teams. They've won trebles, they've had 100-point seasons, they've turned the Premier League, the league you used to own, into their own personal farmer's market. And the derby is not a derby anymore, it's a scheduled humiliation. It's 90 minutes of your players chasing blue-shirted shadows. The 6-pointer at Old Trafford wasn't a 6-pointer, it was a 6-1. The 6-3, where Haaland and Foden both got hat-tricks, wasn't a match, it was a public execution. The noisy neighbours aren't just noisy anymore, they're the landlords. They own the street, they own the entire city. And you're the crazy old man shouting from a broken window, "We've won more titles in our history," as they drive past in a Lamborghini you technically paid for. 8. They're walking. And they're not alone. But there was always one comfort. One final bastion of superiority. Through the Moyes malaise, the Van Gaal coma, the Mourinho meltdown, you had one beautiful, shining truth to hold on to. At least we're not Liverpool. You did it. Fergie's white whale. Knocking them off their perch. You did it. 18 titles to 20. Job done. You could sleep at night secure in the knowledge that your most bitter existential rival was trapped in a permanent loop of "next year's our year," and then a German dentist with perfect teeth and a terrifying wind-powered laugh showed up. Jurgen Klopp. A man who arrived at Anfield and somehow fixed them. He fixed them with net spend. He fixed them with analytics. He fixed them with passion and hugs and a tactical system that wasn't just give it to the fast lad. While United was setting $500 million on fire in a skip, Liverpool was buying Mo Salah, Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk for what you paid for Paul Pogba's agent fees. And then they won. They won the Champions League. They won their first Premier League. They closed the gap. And the humiliations. Oh God, the humiliations. They weren't just losses, they were soul-crushing events that should have violated the Geneva Convention. The 5-0 at Old Trafford, with Salah bagging a hat-trick and the away end just laughing at you. The 4-0 at Anfield. And then the 7-0. 7-0. That's not a football result, that's a typo. That's a scoreline from a charity match between professionals and a team of hungover dads. It was a biblical smiting, and you had to sit there and watch every single goal. You watched them, your most hated ancient rival, stop playing football and start just collecting goals like they were bonus points in a video game. All your best comebacks are gone. They're ash. Slippy G doesn't work when they've won the league. 18 titles doesn't work when they're breathing down your neck at 19. You spent 30 years building a perch, just to watch them fly right back onto it, build a nest, raise a family and take a massive dump on your head. So yeah, your club is a global brand run like a local pub, your stadium is falling apart, your rivals are winning everything, and every weekend feels like a scheduled dental appointment. It's a miserable existence. But you'll be there next Saturday, won't you? Yeah, you will. We all will. Why? I have no idea. Subscribe for more group therapy. I mean, analysis.